Hi everyone. Today we're talking about the most powerful, naturally occurring addiction in the world. And at the end, you're going to know how to overcome it. Sex sends our reward center spinning, increasing it by 300%. Pornography takes this natural response and makes it into a superdrug. That's why it makes sense that at least 30% of all data transferred across the internet is porn related. Today we're going to talk about some surprising negative effects of porn and then how to overcome them. There is an interesting pattern that can happen with some men. In my work as a psychologist, I sometimes meet men who can only have sex with women they don't know very well. They start therapy when they're in a relationship where they really care about the other person and they can't perform in bed. They can be terrified that they will never be able to have a normal relationship. When I first saw people with this type of issue, I remember thinking about how odd it was. Wasn't it easier to be intimate with somebody that you felt connected with? Well, actually, intimate relationships can be frightening. And one of the major attractions of pornography is that there is no human connection. Porn is safe. There is no rejection, there is no embarrassment. You can access it from the safety of your home. For young teenagers, this is a way of exploring sexuality that skips awkward moments. Porn is normally a first step for people because it's so easy. Dopamine empowers the reward circuit in the brain. Eating, cocaine, and other addictive substances all activate this circuit, motivating us to continue our behavior. Sex activates this too, but porn even more so. Porn is so powerful because of the Coolidge effect. After having an orgasm, an animal takes a certain amount of time to be able to have an orgasm again. This amount of time is shorter if you introduce a new mate. In other words, novelty is exciting. Porn is different from sex because of endless novelty. You can activate the reward center of your brain again and again by looking at a new image. This is one of the reasons why porn is even harder to stop than cocaine. You can get another hit with the click of a mouse. In 2010, 36% of males aged 16 to 19, so young men, had no interest in sex in Japan. And that was double of what it was in 2008. The authors blamed this less interest in sex on internet pornography. It is possible for us to actually change what we are attracted to. We can become attracted to what might be called super stimuli that can end up actually being fairly different from real or normal sexual stimulation. Japanese anime is a good example of this. I would call it cyber sexuality. I remember finding an article that had originally been published in Playboy, and it was about how Hugh Hefner had a bed filled with women, but at the end of the night, he would have an orgasm by watching pornography on a screen. We could change how we are stimulated, and this can actually make it harder for us to have sex with a person. I meet women who are devastated by their husband's porn addiction. I tell them that porn is impossible for a woman to compete with. The person using the porn has actually changed their sexual patterns. Changed sexuality is not the only negative effect, though. Men who use pornography develop more sexist attitudes and even develop violent patterns. In one study, for example, men were put in a position of teaching a woman a new skill. When the woman made a mistake while she was learning, the man was given the option of punishing the woman with pain, like an electric shock. No women were actually shocked, but the men thought that they were hurting her. Men who used more porn were more likely to use the pain option, the electric shock, as a teaching method. Also, men who used porn were less committed to their relationships in questionnaires. I consider this next effect the worst one. Men who use pornography don't feel that it affects them. They can't tell that it's changing their sexual responses or their attitudes towards women. And it's impossible to fight something when you don't realize it's a problem. There is hope. You can change your brain. You do this by not using artificial stimulation. It can be very challenging, particularly for the first few weeks, but research suggests that the negative effects of porn appear to be reversible. After not using porn for only 4 weeks, men in the study started to have these effects reversed. In particular, men became more committed to their relationships. I recommend that you only use your partner as a sexual stimulation. If you use something other than your partner for sexual stimulation, you'll change the wiring of your brain and you'll have a less satisfying relationship.